Hello guys, I want to introduce my deshrouding mod for Inno3D iChill X4. As I like videos which are going straight to the point, here are my results. In Time Spy, I go from 19,400 points to 20,400 points. This performance increase is just side effect of better temperatures and less consumption power from the fans. In the MSE combustor, I went from 80 degrees to 70 degrees, and in the game Call of Duty Warzone, I came from the 80 degrees to actually 61 degrees. Regarding the noise level, it's not comparable because my Inno3D, the middle fan, was already damaged, and that convinced me to actually start with this complete project. Here you can hear small example what was the wrong fan on the Inno3D in the stock. Now you know what to expect. Let's go to the process. I started with revisiting the complete airflow of my case. As you can see, I had 3 fans in the front as an intake and 3 fans for the exhaust. All of them were connected to the same header, so it means the speed of the fans was always the same. I was testing more options, but the best one is, as everybody is saying on the internet, to have overpressure in the PCE, and I put actually in the front 2 fans 140 together with 120, and as an exhaust 1 fan 140 and 2 fans 120. So I had the fans for the case, and now I have to decide the fans for the GPU. I was thinking about the option with the 120mm fans in the slim versions, because I don't want to have a big bulky GPU in the case, as the case is not so big. It's actually Meshify C, so I was targeting the 92mm slim versions to be able to fit 3 fans on the GPU as it was in the stock version. As I review few tests on the internet for the slim versions in 120, I decided to go with a Case Flex 92 Slim. So when I started with disassembling the GPU, I found it out, or I already knew, that there is a big issue with the steel frame, which is actually holding the complete chassis for the fans. And for that, I knew that I have to 3D print the new shrouding for the fans. When I have this, I started to design the GPU in the CATIA V5 to be able later on create the parts which I have to 3D print. As I have old 3D printer MK2S from Prusa, I knew that I will be not able to print the complete chassis in one step. That's why I decided to print front and rear part separately and to place them on the printer diagonal to use the complete surface of the 3D printer. In this way I was able to print the chassis for the 3090, which was actually 30 centimeters long. The design for the prototype was nothing special, but I was Googling only the simple way 3090 with best cooling. The result was for me the Asus ROG Strix, which has really good temperature performance. I was checking how much of the cooler is actually covered by the plastic parts to see what should be the best airflow for the 3090. What I learned from this card is that the airflow is pushing the air through the cooler more to the board, and this is done by the plastic part which is covering the top part of the cooler. I was trying to copy, let's say, the similar design also to my card, with the difference that my fans has to be placed a little bit higher due to the steel frame. I was looking for the internet if this space between the fan and the cooler is a wrong thing or the good thing, and I found an interesting video which was actually saying that to have the space between the cooler and the fans actually increase the cooler capacity of the fans. So with all these informations, I started to create the prototype of this shrouding, and then I was 3D printing it. The main scope of this prototype was to check if everything will be possible to assemble it and if it will be also fit in the case. When I finished it, I was really happy with the result because the holes were, let's say, not in the perfect place, but the complete card was possible to assemble everything together, and I was putting it in the case and start with the first testing. All fans were connected together to one header in the motherboard and controlled by the program Fan Control. As the Inno3D card has the power limit for 350 watts, this connection of the fans to the motherboard without the RGB increased little bit the performance of the card itself. And for the noise level, compared to the stock variant, it was amazing. With all of that, I already knew that the final version will be working and will be much more better than the stock variant. So with the Mark II, which I call it, I redesigned all the holes, the cutouts for the fans, the coverage for the cooler, and some design look from the front side. I knew that there is lots of space for improvement and also for the design tweaks for the future, but I was really happy with the result. So with the Mark II, new airflow in the case, I was starting to testing. The results you were seeing in the beginning of the video, but the decrease for 20 Celsius in the Warzone 2 makes me really happy. To reach these 60 degrees Celsius, it's needed only 55% of the RPM. To show you what is the noise level, here is the 100%. Here is the 70%. And here the 50%. Here you can see my complete setup. The monitor on the right side is on the ergo arm, so usually it's touching the center monitor, and the case it's inside the table with the holes on the bottom and on the left side. I almost forget the most important thing. With this process, you doesn't lose your warranty and you can always go back to the stock as it was on the beginning. So, thank you for watching. We are on the end of the video. I will show you how it looks the complete time spy with the noise level and everything else. And if you want to help with the deshrouding process, printing and anything else, let me know in the comments below.